We look at ourselves as a platform to foster sustainability as a way of life.
It's also about fostering social innovation, fostering social entrepreneurship. In the long run, what really matters is this informal kind of mentorship.
So the way to identify social needs is actually to spend a lot of time in the field.
One of the ways in which social innovation is driven is informally.
Every activity has to be socially relevant.
My name is Diana Ju, and I am the co-founder and COO of S-Mart Global. So when I was a student in Boston at MIT, and when my co-founder was there and she was studying engineering at Harvard and she took classes at MIT, we were both really excited about technologies that are designed for low-income populations around the world, and we thought that they could change the world. But when we were traveling to these places and to these villages, we never once stumbled upon anybody using one of these technologies. People didn't know about them, and people didn't know where to get them. So what S-Mart does is tries to bridge the gap between these technologies and their intended beneficiaries. And we do that by creating an essential marketplace in places where people already shop. That's their local retail stores, the Kirana stores. So what we do is we create a catalog of really great technologies that address a number of different needs, whether it be water, lighting, cooking, etc. And we put them into a catalog. We demonstrate the catalogs at these Kirana shops, and then we distribute them and we facilitate after-sales service. So the current innovation for development system is very much heavily focused on creating new inventions for development and for social impact. And there are a lot of competitions for this. They're in both places like the US, the UK, and in India. There's, for example, a new accelerator program that's going on here that focuses on startups that are working on technologies for development. And in Boston, for example, there are just so many institutions like MIT, and then like Stanford as well on the West Coast that are creating innovations for development. But the thing is, though, that these technologies aren't getting to people, and as well, if and when they do get to people, there's no complete feedback loop. They're from the end users to the designers, at least at scale. That's because, of course, they're not getting to people at scale. So what S-Mart is trying to do is to scale up the distribution of these technologies, and then after that, to follow up with the end users to collect data about how they're using these technologies, their preferences for the technologies, why they don't like certain design features of these products. And from all this information, and also just what products sell when they're compared with other products in a catalog. And from this information, trying to create baseline criteria for what a good solar lantern, for example, might be in a certain type of area for a certain type of population group. So this is information that people don't have because right now a lot of designers design with like one community in mind, and they can't reach a bunch of other communities. So something that we found in the field when we first got there was that our major competitor are these, what they call the cheap Chinese products, essentially, which is very confusing to many people when I actually visit stores, because I'm Chinese American. Anyhow, so a lot of these cheap Chinese products come in as lighting solutions, and they cost like 150 rupees. They have a lot of LEDs. People like to count these LEDs, and evidently the LEDs represent just like how bright a product is for them. But what they find is that these products fail like in 3 months, and they have to keep buying new products and tossing them, and buying and tossing and buying and tossing. But this is the mentality that they know, this like buy and throw and do that over and over and over again. And related to that, with respect to quality, something that quality means in these areas is just having that local presence and having that trust. So something that we tell our sales executives isn't just to sell products. Like, we can sell products, things move, people buy, but it's rather to build relationships. So we tell our sales guys, like every month when we give out salaries and when we do the assessment, that the goal of what they need to do is just build relationships with stores right now. We're operating under the theory that technologies diffuse from urban areas into rural areas, and it's something that we've seen actually to be rather true. With respect to an end user's perspective on whether a technology or a product is good, we found that these villagers that we talked to believe that a product is good and they're willing to make an investment when they see these products in larger towns and in larger cities. And if a technology or if a product is seen in a place like Pollachi, then they'd be more willing to buy it in a place in like Pusaripati or Negamam or a smaller village. And that's just the perception of quality. So we're starting in a more semi-urban place so that we can actually help these people's mindsets or work within the existing mindsets so that they'd be willing to invest in a technology.